You're welcome back. This is Newsfile. It's your most authoritative news analysis show. And here on Newsfile, we put Ghana first. Let me share with you some of the messages that you have been sending in. This one from Nana Hasi Ojuri in Dansoman says that it is sad, quote, it is said, quote, Efiebia mensawum, unquote, the good, the bad, and the ugly are all part of any group or entity. I do stand at a loss when I hear politicians within a certain cycle doing everything to score a political point. But on a serious note, the president has on a number of times called on the police to ensure that the rule of law works, such as late Professor Mills said, quote, I am not a policeman, unquote. I see. Is Akufo-Addo a policeman? I want to ask the NDC. Kofi Adams, do you remember Cephas Arthur and, quote, run for your life, unquote, Atabobloshi? Good morning. Okay, so you're doing the recounting, right? Okay. In fact, when I was referring to the statement as issued by Jacob Botchwey Lantey, those were some of the things that they were worried about, and actually went through the Constitution to show the president that he had the power he seemed to have suggested that he didn't have. JB and in Sawam says, peace cannot be achieved through violence. It can only be achieved through understanding and dialogue. That's excellent. So our youth should take note, but tell Inusa and Kofi Adams, not to do politics with the issue because they did worse. Crime has no political color. They should be arrested. Okay, you started on such a neutral note. Benjamin Osei Jamra in Edinburgh says that all of a sudden, we have strong mathematicians who are able to catalog issues of vigilantism, but these same mathematicians failed to do same in the past years. We dare the mathematicians to do a catalog of cases, at least from the Fourth Republic, so we can do a thorough and a surgical analysis. Ghana must work again. Bonti Benjamin in Achimwe Buakwa says that I believe the IGP and other security capos will expedite actions to combat vigilantism or vigilante group operations across the country. The time is now. Well, the truth is that if we don't deal with this, it will come to haunt everybody. Alhaji Iliasu in Tamale says, thumbs up to the president for serving notice to the security personnel to clamp down on the troublemakers. The NPP is not known for use of force and violence in times of disputes. The NDC would never have condemned such thuggery under their reign. Let the youth resort to the use of dialogue to address their grievances. I read a couple more here, and particularly one by Asiedu Sapong. And he says that all of you should stop regurgitating the history. It says, greeting from the village square, Samson. Tell your panelists, we know the history of vigilantism. All political colors are guilty. What we need is a solution, not a reminder. The NPP is in power and must offer solutions, not a justification. If their kingsmen are the vanguards now, they must be dealt with, lest the cycle will never be squared. Okay, thank you for those. I think I may have to pause here and get to some other issues, and then subsequently we can share more of your text messages that you are bringing them in. Now, let's take a listen to this attempt by Evans Mensah to catalog just a couple of the things that have come out of a report that we have laid our hands on, which is being tagged fake, and we insist it is not. So let's listen to this. We'll come back to discuss.
Dr. Omane Boamah, former communications minister, mounts a strong defense. The Dr. Kwesi Botchwey election review report singled out Dr. Omane Boamah and former presidential staffer Stan Dogbe for some blame. This was based on interviews conducted by the committee with what it describes as a large segment of the pro-NDC press. It alleged that Dr. Boamah and Mr. Dogbe were the president's undoing and that, quote, the president was virtually naked with the two around him. It further alleged that Dr. Boamah convinced the president he was more popular than the NDC ticket. The report also accused the two of being what they term shadow actors of the government. Dr. Omane Boamah denies the claims captured in the report.
Let it know that it is never the case. It is never the case that any of those things that have been said happened. I did my job very well, and if anybody wants to assess me based on how I work on campaigns, they should assess it with the 2012 campaign when I was specifically deputy campaign coordinator.
The report also highlights how resources budgeted to facilitate party communication activities were diverted. But Dr. Omane Boamah disagrees.
To the best of my ability, within budget, we did what we could. And perhaps that is the reason why, with all the dust that is being thrown at various ministries, left, right, center, a lot of the ministries are still standing because we ensured that we worked within our means.
The report noted that the party's messaging focused unduly on infrastructure and failed to fully explain the social benefits associated with expanding infrastructure. It emphasized that the party's national campaign failed to listen to advice and implement recommendations of the party campaign strategy team. It said those recommendations had advised against running an extravagant campaign. It observed that mounting huge billboards offended many voters and reinforced MPP accusations that these were funded from stolen public monies. The report also revealed that although the NDC set up a national campaign committee, that committee hardly met as a collective and operated with no formal developed campaign blueprint. For Dr. Omane Boamah, there appears to be a conspiracy against him.
What we are discussing is the specific lies, untruths that have been peddled over a period, some calculated by journalists, some calculated by politicians. We have shared but differentiated responsibility. And if people want to assign blame, rather than put so much premium on collective responsibility, which is not bad in itself, let us also begin to dig deeper into what others also did or did not.
I see. All right, thanks to Evan Spencer of the JoyNews team. He, head of the politics at JoyNews, he put that together, and you would have realized that he led a lot of the serialization of the report, and I'm referring to the executive summary. This is all I can show you as what I have in my hand. Is the report of the NDC Elections Review Committee, listening to the voice of the grassroots, dated June 2017, executive summary, and it is here signed off by Kwesi Botchwey.
There's no signature.
Yes, that's what I don't mean that there's a signature. Right. It is inconsequential. It is inconsequential. It is inconsequential because we know the nature of these reports and whether or not the signature makes any difference. Okay. So you have been treated to aspects of what is said to be that report, particularly by the Daily Guide newspaper and Joy FM. The chorus from the NDC has been that this is fake, until two of their own leaders confirmed when they were interrogated by Kukubako that he read portions, and they confirmed that those portions he read were in the report. So let's deal with it from that point on. Sorry, but let me start with you, Kweku. Okay.
With me?
Yes, I'm starting with you.
Oh, I see.
Right. So Yes, yes. What have you had access to, and as far as you are concerned, how authentic, how much value do you place on what you have?
Well, I have stated, and I was being very honest. I personally have not intercepted a copy of the report, and I mean a full copy of the report. I haven't. And I stated this last Wednesday.
Okay.
Two media entities, very credible one, the Daily Guide and Joy FM, apparently have intercepted copies of the report.
Yeah, we have an over 60-page, executive summary.
And I believe from my own sources, we all have friends. The NDC is not made up of ghosts. They're human beings, some of whom are friends. So I decided to track what Daily Guide and Joy FM have been putting out and to seek some confirmation from my NDC sources.
People don't believe that you don't have it, so you go on.
And I can tell you honestly, what you are holding is not fake. You recall when Madam Tiwa, is it the name?
Yes. Yeah,
only not too long ago,
now head of CID.
A+ tape was doctored.
Right.
I remember my friend Fuseni and other NDC communicators said that if it was doctored, then she should produce the original.
In fact, they've gone to.
A+ who says so?
I was about to say they've
my
gone
brother
to
said
Straj,
so
but some
here.
people have gone to Straj on that.
My brother said so on this platform. Oh, I see. Interesting.
Because A+ had asked for it.
Okay.
So I said, I've never demanded that the NDC should produce the thing. Again, people don't listen carefully. All I said was that if they insist what you are holding is fake, the only way to cure that issue is to produce the original, the authentic, the genuine article. And then maybe we all realize that what you are holding is fake. That's all I said. You see, when the NDC decided to hold a press conference to tell us they had ended the job and to display a copy of the report, our appetite, they were whetting our appetite. And the media, you do so, the media becomes curious and decides to search. I have done my own small search. What you are holding is authentic. And I'll tell you, you see, people tend to forget how some of these things work. The portions that I was holding were photographed in the NDC's own outfit and transmitted to me. So I decided to compare what had been photographed, scanned, photographed, transmitted to me with some of the things you have. Correct, 100%. I can understand their difficulty. You see, so you have a situation where there's a certain ambivalent reaction. Fuseni, I can predict, is going to tell you that this is fake. Kofi Adams is going to tell you it's fake. Alute Jacobs and Jan, when they were confronted with those I was holding, because
I'm sorry, at a point your microphone is misbehaving again.
What's going on here?
It's because it doesn't. It's not enthused at all. The microphone is not enthused at all.
Yes, something that is fake. You are insisting it's not fake. Why won't the microphone go?
So let's fix Kweku's microphone immediately. And whilst we try to do that, let's hear from you, the Honourable Yusuf Seni.
Well, thank you so very much. First of all, listening to Kweku, even before his microphone is fixed, he says that aspects of the report were photographed.
Yes, and transmitted to him. And what he has not added is that when they were transmitted to him, he has already said that he compared with what is being published.
He then sought to compare what he had with what you have.
Yes.
And both fake. They are comparing fake with fake.
And beyond that,
and he also said
he put it to two of
who were not members of the
leaders
committee.
of the NDC.
Who were not members of the
and
committee.
they confirmed.
And they confirmed.
Why didn't they decline?
You see,
Alote Jacobs and
the most
Yabwa
important thing is
they are
all
not mean people in the NDC.
I'm happy talking to you actually.
Right.
You know why? Because we know custody issues. We know evidence. We know evidence and how evidence can be relevant.
You want to play courtroom here?
No, it's not courtroom.
This is not
courtroom. We are saying that he just said, and very fundamental. I have got my own points on views on this matter, but taken from him. The report was produced by a committee. The executive summary was read at an NDC meeting by a particular person. Thereafter, it was sent back into the closet in the NDC office. My brother, friend, and everything says that he got a photograph. The matter would have been photographed by the members of the committee or a member of the committee or the person who read the report. No any other person.
Yeah, but what if it's any of them? What are you talking
about? What if it's any of them? None of them.
You should understand what he's seeking to do now, because right now there is an attempt to fish those who may have been leaking the report and deal with them within the party.
That's their business.
Because the allegation is that there are some of them who are bringing certain aspects to help their own political purposes.
We said what you have.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we don't accept the fact that somebody has leaked.
Let's go back to the discussion. The report, first of all, yes, Madam Tiwa said her tape recorder was fake. I challenge her to produce the original. Madam Tiwa is a public office. Is a public officer. Was occupying a public office. Was performing a public duty and was paid by public resources. So I felt as a public person entitled to demand the full disclosure of the original copy, and I think that was within my rights.
NDC is a public.
It's a quasi-public institution.
Oh, I hear
it's not. Yeah, it's a quasi-public institution.
The lawyer is
Who
talking.
said that?
Yes,
Look at the
it's
lawyer.
not a public institution. It's a quasi-public
entity.
Avelifo, the court says that you are a public
It's a
entity.
public entity.
It's a quasi-public entity.
The court says you are a public entity. It didn't say quasi. So we will prefer the court, because right now you are seeking to do court things here.
Well, so we said, is the report the blueprint for 2020 elections? We say it will go some way into helping us deal with the issues. You see, all serious-minded political parties, when they fail to accomplish a goal, must do an internal soul searching.
Right.
And NDC chose to do it in a big way. NDC could have simply commissioned a committee to go around the country, and we've done it before. In 2001, we went around the country and compiled reports, and that helped us to reorganize the party. But this time we thought that we should do it big, and we did it big. Now the report, is it meant for public consumption? No. The report is for the internal consumption of the NDC. Yes, I always said that we need to continue the fight. And in order to continue the fight, we must understand the goals that we stand for and how to pursue the goals and direct our energies, our passion, and our strength towards the realization of the goals. And so this is why we commissioned the report. And the report will be used to guide future actions of the NDC. And it is only within the NDC. Is the NDC divided? Was the NDC divided in 2014? No.
The report says yes.
No,
NDC,
that's why the report.
Okay, wait, I'm coming. Yes.
That's why the report is
regardless
fake.
regardless of your insistence, let me show you that the commencement, when they started, they dealt with election of party executives in 2014, and they spoke about the fact that there were divisions within the party. Now, in page 13, the last paragraph, they said a notable example of this phenomenon was the Jomoro constituency in the Western region. It's
Samson, you need
wait.
Samson, you need not bother yourself about
it would seem that whilst the party appeared on the surface to be united in the run-up to the elections, it was in fact deeply divided.
And you think that
in a good number of constituencies across the country 2 years to the general elections.
And you think that a committee chaired by the venerable Professor Kwesi Botchwey will produce such a report? You think that?
They will hide
because
what the people have said.
When all parties, including the MPP, conducted elections. When some members of the party in the MPP lost elections, was their party divided during, in the run-up to elections? I say yes. I say yes.
Yes, that's true.
But they won elections. So we were divided in 2004, so that's why we lost the election. Is that what they're saying? The MPP was plainly, really divided. Everybody knew. They sacked their chairman and the general secretary.
They couldn't hide it.
But they won elections.
They won elections.
And so what will a venerable professor like Kwesi Botchwey produce a report like this?
You said you were united.
It's not
Your
true.
members who were spoken to.
It's not true. Every time we conduct elections for the election of executive officers, some will win, some will lose. And it has never divided the party.
So if members who were met said these things, the committee should have discounted them, ignored them. Is that what you're saying?
Members never said this to the committee.
Okay, proceed. You mentioned unity, and I referred you to a point. So
I was just saying that you say that there was diversion of cash and material. I mean, the chairman of they say that the NDC chairman stole 1 million Ghana cedis. But most importantly, you are reading the report which says that 20 cars for journalists only benefited 4 out of 34.
200 cars.
200 cars for journalists benefited 4 out of 34. The journalists were 34.
Journalists and others. So it was not exclusive.
You see, I'm just reading here. For journalists, I'm reading their...
No, that one is not a quotation.
Oh, no, but that's what you gave to me.
This is what the production just wrote
as a for which are the others? To compensate for the difference of 170, 160, 64, 66.
Don't worry.
You put others.
Don't worry, I'll refer you. As long as it is not fake.
So
as long as it is not fake, I'll refer you to
I say that, well, when I saw this, I said, this is illogical. 200 cars for journalists, 4 benefited out of 34, where the journalists to take 3 cars each, or 4 cars each. You talk about Stan Dogbe convinced Mahama that he was more popular than the NDC ticket. Is it President Mahama who told the committee that, or Stan Dogbe?
That he was convinced.
More popular than the... Is it Stan Dogbe or Omane or John Mahama himself? Because you know about hearsay evidence. You have to talk about the way.
Don't you think that whoever took the pains to put together these fake reports has really done well?
Well, we have always not doubted the capacity of MPP to do such a thing.
I see.
Yes.
We have never doubted.
So MPP did that.
No, we are not saying so.
Yes.
I'm not saying so. I even believe that when the committee was going around, probably there were sponsored persons who took part in the so I have no doubt. Yeah. And that's why I can see some unexplained interest in the report produced by the Kwesi Botchwey committee by the MPP. That's why I'm not surprised.
Okay.
Now, so who told Kwesi Botchwey report, the fake report, that Stan Dogbe edited money meant for the journalists? How much were the journalists to receive that Stan edited thing? What was the evidence? The NDC must crowd in intellectual base. I don't know whether they forgot that those who produced the fake report forgot that NDC had a grouping known as the Development Challenge, made up entirely and exclusively by intellectuals, which still exist. And how could that be crowding out intellectuals? And many intellectuals from the leading universities of this country were part of the grouping. So always listening to these things, I have a view and the feeling that somehow some people are standing outside and piecing in. Piecing into the NDC. But the NDC, we ourselves, we know that the task of reorganizing the party will be intellectually demanding, will be emotionally draining, and will be physically taxing. We need to prepare our minds to confront the tax. NDC will stand the test of time. Now, people have said many of our supporters never came out to vote. That's phenomenal. Any time that parties suffer elimination, and this is confirmed by the EC, who said that the election 2016 was the lowest recorded turnout since we went for Republic. So, well, probably those who voted the MPP not out of conviction but out of desperation probably are beginning to have a change of mind. But all we need to do is to begin to address our minds to the challenges that confront us. Reorganize. We've been there before. We were able to reorganize. At that time, myself and Kofi Adam were part of the youth forum who channeled our energies and strength towards the reorganization of the party. We can do it again. You see, and Kofi Adams and other former ministers, political appointees and activists, all of us must learn to take criticism seriously, but not personally. It is only when we begin to take criticism seriously that we can do a dispassionate analysis of the cause or causes of our defeat. The report that was produced will help guide the NDC in this reorganization attempt. And I'm sure since the timetable for the reorganization has been put out, by the time we finish the reorganization and put ourselves, our mind and energy to the reorganization effort, NDC will see a change. MPP will see a formidable, a rival opposition party that is bent on wresting power from them.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, we can have Kweku now to continue his take from the point where he spoke about confirming that as far as he's concerned, it's authentic. Portions of the report, let me just say to you, this is the executive summary, really. And page 33, for example, that's where there's a reference to a mess of the coalition of the results efforts. What I have here says that there evidently were two systems, one party-based and the other, according to Mr. Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, former Minister of Communications, quote, a private initiative.
Minister of Communications.
Sorry. A private initiative. The Election Directorate evidently regarded Ofosu-Kwakye's initiative as primary, whereas Ofosu-Kwakye and his team regarded it as only a backup system. For reasons of its obvious importance, we treat the subject fully in the main report. Our general finding is that the party's coalition efforts were a complete mess and a situation that brought the dysfunctionalism in the party to a head. On the question of monies you refer to or cars, it listed a number of things. I'll just raise a couple of them. At page 26, management of relations with the media. Once again, the committee's engagement with a section of the press provided a window into the state of the party's relations with the media. The following is a sampling of their views. There was a disconnect between the media, party, and government communication machinery. Party spokesperson go and mess up with other stations and come to do the damage control on Radio Gold. NDC disrespected its own media. NDC is intolerant of the media. NDC sponsored pro-NPP media who painted themselves as neutral. NDC had no patience to build a neutral station.
This is backroom
NDC
news.
press corps went through inhumane treatment under the party. President Mahama's in-house communication team was squandering resources of the president meant for communication strategy. Ill treatment of the media, no respect for the media. Presidential press corps was told by Dogbe that they were not part of the system and that they were privileged to be party of the presidential press corps. Quarterly stipend meant for the press corps was not disclosed until something that doesn't come clearly. I'm asking you a question. Hold on.
Because it's fake.
Only four, this is photocopied. Only 4 out of the 34 members of the press of the presidential, this is the others, clearly here, were giving vehicles from a pool of about 200 vehicles available for distribution to the press corps and others. So, yes, there's a mention of Omane, Stan, a lot of references to them about where here they use the word edit. Stan Dogbe, quote-unquote, edited money meant for victims of the accident involving the presidential press corps from 50,000 cedis that was supposed to be given to them to 5,000 cedis, and others got 10,000 cedis.
This cannot be. This cannot be. But let me just.
It actually says the president never met his own press corps. Yes, Kweku.
Well, the press corps
you
was
are
supposed
done.
to make.
You are done.
No, just a minute.
I'm with Kweku now.
Just a minute. Just a minute.
Yes.
Just a minute. I also read, and it just escaped me, that MPP fed NDC polling agents on the election day. This is just rubbish. It cannot be true.
Hold on 1 second. Just hold on 1 second. Watch and listen to this.
Yeah.
The feeding, when we went to complain of the feeding, they said they've given the food to the zonal coordinators to prepare for each zone. So we waited, the food was not coming. So there, you see, people vexed. And the other parties, so that the opposition, that's the then opposition, NPP, can come and then give out, like we were there when the chairman brought some food to the people. Then that's the constituency chairman, he brought the food. The parliamentary candidate also brought food, and the party itself also brought food. So this food was being given to the polling agents, to that's NDC, before they can even sit and monitor. Even at a point that around 2 a.m. when we went to the coalition center and when we wanted some things, we have to trace to some of the polling agents their room. We went and then wake them up. And they refused to give us because they were not giving some money. That's the allowances that they were supposed to give them. They said they're not getting the money. But we have to also press them and pick them up. So they were picked on the day of the election. So it happens to NDC too. So some of us, in fact, when it gets to that point, we know that it was bundled for NDC, because if you are not fed, you can't sit and then fight for some of these things.
Okay. So this is Razak Momen Gado, who was supposed to be one of the polling station agents.
From where?
Who has this complaint?
From where? You see, first of all, the pink sheets, we set up a parallel correlation center at the constituency. And so, it's a electoral commission. So if after the close of elections, you had 2 agents. My constituency, I had 4 agents. Now, I took over part of the agents of 2 political parties. Then they were to send their pink sheets directly to the coalition center and receive their stipends.
So how will you go?
How will you go to your house and sleep and expect to receive?
But as for the feeding thing, is it unusual for agents who are sitting among themselves to share food?
No, it's not unusual. It's not unusual. But to say that they were fed by MPP is what is unusual.
Okay, thank you. Now let's hear from Kweku. I asked what value you put on this, and you say this is credible.
No, it's authentic.
Yeah, it's authentic.
Don't let's waste our time.
Okay.
But their reaction is predictable. And understandable.
Are you a fetish?
It's okay. It's okay. So please,
part of the report.
Please, let's do it this way so that we can manage the time we have. Yes.
The NDC's reaction to the effect that what you are holding is fake is understandable and it's predictable. I don't have a difficulty with that. They will live with that challenge forever and ever. If they want to cure that mischief, they should produce, and if they should produce the authentic, the genuine article. Right. Otherwise, you will live with this forever and ever. Nobody told you to hold a press conference to tell us that this is the report, a beautiful one, 400 and something pages, and you go and hide it. The media, I told you, if the report won't come to the media will go to the report.
The other point is that we should focus on the government and leave the NDC alone.
Pathetic.
Why?
Pathetic. And Mr. Asiedu Nketia, my own good friend, apparently took me and tore me apart to the effect that I was busy looking at this report because his 2 members had come to confirm it. I think that hurt him very much. So he took me apart.
Why did they confirm it, Kweku?
Sorry. Please allow Kweku to continue. Yeah, Kweku, go on.
And was talking of a culture of silence is coming back, and journalists like us are sitting here. 131 stations have been closed. I've spoken on that, haven't I?
Yes, you have.
Yes, he didn't hear that. But you see, to take lessons from Asiedu Nketia relative to threats to freedom of speech and culture of silence, it would be like going to a brothel to take lessons in morality.
Right. You've left the report and now discussing lessons on...
It's the same thing. I said, Nketia, that's it. It took me on. It took me apart.
He did.
And he's asking me to focus on... That's it. It's here. General Mosquito descends on Kweku Baku and wants NDC officials. That's those who apparently, who confirmed it. And he's taking me on. I'm saying that I won't take lessons from Asiedu Nketia on culture of silence and threats to press freedom. It will be like going to the brothel to take lessons in morality from a prostitute, something I will not do. Where was he when the culture of silence was on? I'm told he talked about the Brekum, a radio station was closed down in Brekum some time ago. It's soldiers who went to close the station down. It wasn't NCA who was withdrawing anything. But anyway, let's come back to the issue. You see, you played this gentleman's voice. They are denying the gentleman too.
No, we're not denying.
It's fake. But he confirmed the feeding aspect.
Yes, he did.
And then you see, this is
sorry, please. Let's have a smooth discussion. Let's have a smooth discussion.
And that gets into a report.
There's one example.
No.
And even this is JoyNews.
Don't do that. Don't do this. Guys, don't do this. Don't do this. Please don't do this.
To react to the report.
Yes.
Yes.
To react to an aspect of the report.
That was the point.
That's what it was. Now here we have, see, this is March 2017, 22nd March 2017. We were more divided than the MPP prior to 2016 polls.
Why? So, and this is credible.
Please.
What in that says that we were more divided than the
Don't do this. Don't do this. Allow him to make his point.
What in Jan said many things even after he lost the elections.
Okay.
So I'm not surprised.
This is March 22nd, 2017.
I'm not surprised.
He said
many things.
No, don't do this, please.
No,
don't do that. Don't do that. Let him make his presentation. You have the opportunity to also speak. So please, let's do it that way. Thank you.
Apparently,
he was for evidence that don't exist to authenticate a fake document.
Because he lost elections.
Go on, please.
My brother Fuseni was categorical that the party was not divided.
Yes.
And he was saying this so to prove that this report is fake. The report talks of divisions within the NDC.
Right.
Now, he's saying that could not be true. I am saying that March 2017, a leading member of the NDC, Botchwey, who was talking to Kwame Edinkra on Ebusua
FM.
Yes, and he says that, Kwame, believe me, the NDC was much more divided than the MPP, but we pretended as if all was well and decided to talk about the MPP's troubles. This is a member of the party. So really, it is not really big news that you had divisions in your party, which fortunately the report has captured. Now, you talked about coalition, election coalition activities. See, this one too is NDC coalition system broke down during 2016 polls. Pelpo. This is City FM online.
Dr. Rashid Pelpo.
Yes.
Okay.
He says, as at the time the MPP was churning out results and claiming victory, the NDC had not gotten a grasp of what was happening. Our system even broke down and we could not assess the results the MPP was getting. Neither could we see what we were even getting, so that there was a problem there. Our ability to utilize technology to understand what was happening and to be able to get into the depths to know the votes that we got was lacking. And that was eventually one of our setbacks. Even if you are losing, you still need to know that you are losing. We were being told we were losing from our opponents, and we did not have enough information to counter it. There was a technological deficit. There was inadequacy in technology in responding.
All these that you are reading for.
When you get the opportunity, you tell us why you think there's no point.
Anyway,
Please go on, Kweku.
There was inadequacy in technology in responding to the challenge at the time. And I believe it's one of the areas that will be tackled in the very near future when we are going to the next election. You read that they said I think was in a mess, complete mess.
Yeah.
This is a reflection of what you were talking about. That's the point I was illustrating. I mean, that's fake. This is fake. everything is fake. I hear you. I take that on board. But look, this whole thing is a reflection of the power play in the NDC, particularly when they've opened the floodgates for competition sooner than later, as we are all going to be. That is where the whole problem is. As I told you, my copies were photographed, scanned, and transmitted to me. More is coming. Indeed, very soon, that whole report that they are hiding in a rat hole will emerge. The whole 400 and something report.
155 pages.
And we will come and put it here so that they will tell you it's fake.
Oh, the MPP can do worse.
Why MPP? I don't get it. Why are you talking MPP? No, but you see, I don't really understand this. I'm sitting here making my submission. You say MPP.
You get a report.
The report will come to us.
So if you want credibility, establish who gave you the report.
My goodness, you are asking a journalist this question.
Yes.
Incredible.
Disclosure.
Amazing. I'll go to jail rather than disclose the source. But that's not done. You see, so to be honest with you, as I'm saying, ordinarily, it shouldn't be big matter if they want to keep their thing to themselves. But when you go out and tell a journalist that what you are publishing is fake, the challenge is yours.
This era of fake news.
Okay.
Fake news.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Hold on. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll hear Samia Wuku and Kofi Adams on this subject before we go to the situation in the Ghana state. We'll be right back. You're welcome back to Newsfile. My guests are Kweku Bako, Inusa Fuseni, Kofi Adams, and Samia Wuku, whom some people are excited that he's on Newsfile and they're announcing here. They don't want me to say more than that. Yes, so Sami. Yes.
First of all, Samson, I've been quiet listening to the various arguments and submissions. But I think the NDC team today came with a strategy. Strategy of let's frustrate every contributor on this program. So please, put my NDC friends in check for me because I was very quiet listening to them. Even when the vigilante thing, they were running, amok with them. This is not the first time. Let me also state that this is not the first time a political party after an election, be it victory or defeat, have embarked on a massive exercise to know their strengths and weaknesses. In fact, for the NPP in 92, we had a stolen verdict. In 96, we had even the board verdict. In 2008, we had the Heyman Committee report. And just a few weeks ago, the committee we put in place, the Pukwe Disa Committee, submitted this report to the steering committee of the NPP about our strengths, our weaknesses, what happened in our 2016 campaign. And apart from the General Secretary that I was with that day, who took the report, we thanked the committee. Afterwards, it was put in a safe at the party office and locked. Many a time, only 3 people, after the presentation of the report, only 3 people sometimes do get the opportunity to know the meaty areas of the report. Mostly the presidential candidate or the president, if you are in power, the party's chairman, and the custodian is the General Secretary. You know why people are so much interested in this whole NDC report and the fact that, because let me have a better view of Samson.
The truth is that they are surprised that your report, the media never got to pay attention to it because it was not available. How come we are paying attention to this?
But I'll come to that.
Right.
When we formed our committee, when we received the report, we didn't have a media razzmatazz or a media parade to receive it. It was myself, the General Secretary, C.K. Tedam, Chairman of our Council of Elders. Then I think Kofi Japan, Acting Director, together with some few who received the committee. Fast forward. People are interested in this whole NDC report too for another reason. If you recall, post-2008, Chasing the Elephant into the Bush.
Right. The alternative to your report today.
Attack of Kennedy. Our committee was the Heyman Committee. But the NDC substituted our committee's report with that book. And something, every program you attend, The NDC personally procured copies, printed more, and distributed it across the country.
Even 2016, it was brought to this studio.
Exactly.
But you're holding your hand. You're holding your hand. The report.
Don't worry.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
It's a book that was
that's fine.
and then out there for sale.
Okay.
That's the point he's making. No. You don't get the point he's making.
Thank you.
You don't get the point he's making.
So you get the point.
Yes. This will get his interest. The NDC believed everything in the report and said, but the report says even Nanado, according to the book, is not even competent to lead us again. Whenever you are asked the question, they will refer to that report. So that's why people have shown interest. For me and for us as a party, we feel it's unfortunate this report has leaked. But the danger for the NDC is that they seem to be in a very dazed mood. The NDC is dazed by the leakage. And it's so because the document has the potency of disintegrating the NDC.
They should be worried if it is leaked and you have a copy.
Well, we do. Even their strategic document in 2008, we have it. But that's fine. That's beside the point. But for the NDC now, they are still in a comfortable lead mood, which is dangerous for them. Some of their officials keep saying it is true. Some say it's leaked. Some say it's fake news. So when you are in self-denial, you cannot implement even the recommendations in the report. You know why? Because when you implement it, the media, a media house and hub like multimedia, they will also be keeping a close eye on the kind of implementations that you also embark upon. Then again, let me also go to some few details of it. Obimpe, the Ashanti regional chairman, stated on live radio that out of the 47 constituencies in Ashanti, he only received support for 15. You don't need the Kwesi Botchwey report to confirm to you that there was a problem with logistics and there was a problem with his deployment.
Alote Jacob said he got not even
Alote
T-shirts.
Jacob said he didn't even receive T-shirt. And no, that is curious. You know why?
Discussing the report.
Yeah. That is curious too, because the campaign was launched in the central region. That day after the campaign launch, I was on radio. I was convinced the NDC was going to lose the central region. And I'll tell you why. I'm a strategist.
You were scared.
I wasn't. And
What
I'll tell
you
you
saw
why.
in
I
central
wasn't.
region.
I wasn't. Samson, let me give you why
Okay.
I wasn't. You have a stadium filled with supporters. When the president of the land and the leader, the ultimate, the reason why you are there was to listen to the president. He's the leader of the campaign and leading you. When he was about to speak, whether doves from Mahama or for Mahama and the supporters had been buzzed away. So meaning the indigents from the town were not even in the stadium. Because if you buzz your supporters across the country to one, the Cape Coast Stadium is 20,000 capacity. NDC had over millions of votes. But if the indigents did not patronize your event, because if they had patronized it and your supporters coming from elsewhere had left, you still have had a decent crowd to talk to. Their youth leader, if you go to the report, their youth leader states, and you see, in fact, according to the report, that their national youth organizer was difficult to reach. They also said that he did not have plan for 10 across the country. Post-elections, I've heard their youth leader saying he was sidelined. And in Cape Coast, when they needed their youth leader to speak and lead the youth camp, he was substituted with an actor, a film actor that day. So the NDC clearly, even in terms of strategy, got it wrong. But Kofi Adams, I'm surprised about the way he's behaving. Kofi Adams, after the humiliating defeat of the NDC, was accused by a leading figure in the Ashanti region, Yamwa Ponko, that this man seated next to me, who happens to be their national organizer and campaign director at that time, deserves to be hanged for his role in the defeat and complain about his arrogance. On Radio Gold, Muntie, NDC supporters made serious allegations against him that he had pocketed campaign cash, and Kofi Adams has taken them to court. You don't need Kwesi Botchwey report to tell you that people pocketed cash. But the attitude of the NDC since January 2017, you know the number of press conferences they've had, tying red bands and beret, and for this serious booklet review, The NDC, they've been very careful not to come out officially with a press conference on it. Mind you, not everybody on the committee has the interest of whether future or former president candidate Mahama. Not all of them have his interest at heart. And let's be clear. Apia Stadium, the NDC General Secretary even said some of their supporters felt that he had been given too much access to the presidency. So the allegations contained in this booklet is not something that you can come and sit here and say, oh, it's fake news, and we reject it. Solomon Kansa some few days ago on Joy FM said he was sidelined. He said he didn't have the resources to even convene campaign communication meetings and even resources communicators. That is also contained in his report because he has been accused of more or less, in quote, being almost useless, and he didn't perform as a communicator. Me, I am careful because we also, as a political party, we have lessons to learn. The NDC, whilst they were mounting giant billboards, forgot that the people standing behind the billboards were hungry. How can the circle interchange that you were commissioning at that time put food on the table of the Dagomba boy in Gushegu or Tamale? There was a complete disconnect between the NDC and the populace. And when you're a political leader, Samson, you have to constantly surround yourselves with a mixture of praise singers and people with objective minds. The praise singers, out of fear, will not be able to tell you the actual situation on the ground. And when you're a leader, you have to constantly be looking back to find out, are the people still following me? Because when you're a leader and you turn back, and the people are not following you, you are no longer a leader, you are taking a walk. Okay. Mahama took a long walk into opposition, but the danger for them again is that they are in a self-denial mode, and it's expected, because this report is damning. I am not ready to release my report. I'm not ready to release that of the MPP's own, because I can only read and leave it. But let me advise Kofi Adams and his team. A time comes when sometimes when you lose an election, you take a breather, sit back, reflect. NPP after 2008, we embarked on 3 R's: to reflect, to rebuild, and to recapture. Their collation, let me come back and you can take your time. The NDC,
you wind up.
Yeah, let me wind up. I can confidently tell you, Mahama did not see his collated party results before he conceded defeat. He didn't. The NDC's collation center broke down. They accused Felix Kwesi internally. They are accusing him and his team of procuring some equipment that were obsolete. Again, when around 2 a.m. McMahon had our press conference the dawn of the 8th of December, he was consistent with 80% of the polling station results collated. At 10 a.m., I led another NPP press conference, and I quoted around 53%, 53.8%, about 94% of the polling station results collated. That time, they were dazed. And when the foreign observers said they wanted to verify our claims, we took them to the NPP's collation center. They were amazed with the kind of preparation and the kind of collation. When they went to the NDC, they were told stories. So me, I will not, in fact, I don't wish NDC success. I wish them luck in 2020. Because wishing them success means I want to go back into opposition. But something, just a second, but I'll fall short of prescribing solutions. My only advice to them is that sometimes listen to the grounds. When you listen to the grounds as a leader, you take the bullet, but you have to be courageous in facing them.
That's nice, except that when the NDC also waves the chasing the elephant to the bush to you, you rejected every bit of it.
That wasn't our report.
As if Atta Kennedy, who was part of the campaign, a major part and manager of the campaign, had just spewed lies in his book.
But the truth is that wasn't our report.
Okay, thank you. Now, Kofi, we finish this subject with you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
As far as you're concerned, this is fake, so everything else, ignore.
Sure. Let them continue. You have put out a very fake report, and all the information you've put out
is to back the fake.
Place. When you started, you asked for silence and quietness. You actually even asked me to sit back so you can have
enjoy your coffee.
And I did so. Okay. So I want
Let me watch you display.
I want you to give me same.
He will do so.
Just watch quietly and then listen.
Okay.
In the first place, I'm quite happy, contrary to the concerns that a number of my colleagues are showing, the interest the media is showing in the NDC. Why? Because I can predict that it's a loss of confidence in the ruling party. That no matter how much criticism of the rot and wrongs that are happening in this short time, they will not even correct it. So let's focus our attention on the alternative, so that the alternative will put its house in order. Then come 2020, they will be able to win elections and save this country moving forward. So on that score, I'm quite happy. Just same way you showed the number of interest in the MPP in 2016, and they were asking you, why are you not talking about NDC that was in power?
Some of us actually got attacked and threatened that we handed these matters over to police.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing that is happening today. So that interest for me is good. But the truth of the matter is that the report, as you are discussing, is fake. And the media have tried and attempted to shop for evidence to back their fake report. And that explains why you put out Momin Gado, that nobody can actually even authenticate sitting here of over almost 29,000 polling stations. You manage to know one person, we don't know even which region, which constituency, which polling station that this person is speaking from, that he said,
if I gave you the polling station and whatever, you rubbish that one too, wouldn't you?
Let me finish.
I'm just searching for it.
We were not fed. That he was a polling agent too. He said he was not fed. And that he fed with MPP money. And that when he came, he as a polling agent, who is a polling agent of a particular polling station, was now going to other polling agents' homes. How did he know the homes of other polling agents when you don't even live in that area? That you go to the constituency collation center and you now have to go to the homes of other polling agents and who said that they have not been paid, and that is why they didn't bring their sheets to the collation center. See, the story doesn't work for those of us who have worked with political party campaigns and resource collation over the years.
But you presume that all NDC persons are happy, are okay, and that because wait. Let me finish. I was listening to radio the other day, and there was this man. It sounded a bit ridiculous. He said, "Look, some of us were not treated well," and you know his example, that it is only during Mills's time that he got one board appointment or something like that, and that when he needed, as a head of his region, he needed to do a bit of travel so that he can get some experiences to come and share with his people. He asked Ofosu Ampofu, that local government, because he's working from, under local government. He asked Ofosu Ampofu, you are traveling here, can we, tag along this time around? Ofosu Ampofu told him that he should go to chief of staff. And he got angry. He knew that they have just been sidelined. People like this are saying a lot of the bad things that have to be brought to the public. So don't assume that everybody is okay.
You see, Samson, that is why the party itself have embarked on a project of reorganization. Amongst it was a healing tour, where some elders were mandated to engage with various personalities. And healing doesn't necessarily mean that you have offended somebody and that is why you are going to engage. You may explain, you may apologize, you may do many things that will bring everybody on board to agree. See, the truth of the matter is that when people either get disappointed as a result of not getting the appointment that they were expecting, or they were appointed and then removed, they will not be happy. Right. It's not everybody that will be happy. Today in MPP, there are former MPs who are saying they worked so hard and brought 50,000 votes, and they are only praying for God to touch the hearts of President Akufo-Addo to give them, even it's a cleaning job, a sweeping job at the Flagstaff House. People feel that way. It's happening. So
you take that literally?
You say?
Sweeping at the Flagstaff House. You take that literally?
It means that he's ready to do anything. Anything.
Okay.
So when I listen to Kweku, for example, justification of the authenticity of this report, because he claimed that two persons he was on a program with confirmed that That's what you are saying. That I didn't listen to the program. That
that's his former competitor.
Yawati Jam, yes. And then my regional chairman, Alote Jacobs. Yeah. One, in terms of this handling of Professor Kwesi Botchwey Committee's report, Yawati Jam has never come near any of his discussion.
He didn't claim that.
Please. So therefore, he could not be authenticating a document he has not seen. He has not worked with.
You don't know if he has seen it.
Please. He hasn't seen it. If he has seen anything, then it means that it will be the fake one that you are putting around. not the document that we have received.
Okay.
For Alote Jacobs, I would say as a member of NEC, when we interfaced with Professor Botchwey, and then there were the PowerPoint presentation. He was there. But even then, he also did not get a physical copy of even the executive summary.
So still he cannot authenticate.
To authenticate. So I will be surprised that Kweko will be basing his authentication on these two personalities. What we are saying is that we have received the report, and
I'm not exclusively basing my authentication of what happened at the studio. I think I also...
And also the camera. Yeah. The shot. We are yet to see who sent the shot.
Okay. So I've been told that in this fake report, they said somewhere that I presented a memo to the Professor Botchwey Committee. I never presented a memo to the committee. I'm also told when I appeared on the Upfront program that they said in somewhere in this fake report that I told the Professor Botchwey Committee that people were boarding buses and then they will get down and come back for money again at the headquarters of the party. I never said any such thing. And we didn't give people physical cash on the day of elections or before when they were being transported to the various points.
Okay.
We also did not centralize transportation.
Okay.
We had coordinators at various points that were dealing with matters of transport. But this fake report is saying so. So that is why we keep telling you that. Yet we are not saying that some of the issues that are being mentioned may
coincide with what is in the report.
May coincide.
Yeah,
but of course, there was
coincidences are always strange.
You know,
you see,
Samson.
You
know, the 2 days before the elections, I was on Legon campus coordinating busing of students. Whilst even in opposition, we were using the coaches and luxurious buses. NDC were bringing rickety buses, and Kwesi White was there, and he saw NDC people moving to join the MPP buses, while the students were angry.
Somebody might have been pocketing the campaign cash.
So the issues that we are talking about is that you have put out a report claiming that is our report. We have indicated to you, Clay, that our report is still in safe hands. You are at liberty to continue to believe that what you are holding is the actual report.
Yeah, but you raised serious issues about it.
On collation issues that you have talked about. You see, for everybody who have participated in an election, there are two ways that you can do. You either would want to put a technology that you can collate directly from polling station, or you do from polling station to constituency collation center, constituency collation center to the headquarters center. What we put in place was that constituencies will collate the results and then submit to headquarters the constituency collated results. So there was nothing like taking police station results directly, as is being alleged in this report. So nobody could have told anybody that we did not put the facility in place, like it broke down because police stations could not send results, and that only 250 phones were sent to a region that had over 3,000 police stations. We were not expecting results to be sent from police stations direct to the headquarters. They pick the results from a police station to the constituency collation center. All the polling stations in the constituency get collated at the constituency center. The results that is gotten by the candidates in that constituency now get sent to the headquarters.
Is that how you found out you were in comfortable league?
Of course, at the time we did the press conference, we were in comfortable league. Really? We had not received all the results. You see, results
can't believe what happened.
Yes.
MPP collated their results from the polling stations. All the polling stations, 275. collated directly to the head office.
No, police is 29,000.
What
29,000 collated directly to the head
No,
office.
29,002.
NDC never did that.
is spell posting correct?
He's asking whether you.
No, bell posting is known.
Is it correct?
It's known.
It's correct.
It's known, yes.
It's genuine.
We know it's genuine. It's correct. Because we did not
And
know.
that
He says
reflects.
if that is the case, then don't blame anybody.
But no, but to say that,
It vindicates what
we
is in the
collected
report.
from polling
All right, we
stations
take- we
is
take-
wrong.
we take a break.
I did not even see his results before you.
It's correct.
One minute. 1 minute.
Yes, so
1 minute.
our money.
You see, the attempt at what many are doing, aside those of you whose interest is that a loss of confidence in government and the failure, so therefore you want the NDC to wake up quickly and be able to come and save this country. There are some others, possibly like Kweku and the rest, as he has rightly said now, is to think that let's put the fake and force them to bring the original.
Oh.
We are not going to be forced.
You are
to
interpreting
bring-
what I said.
Yes, of course. I have the right to interpret.
No,
what
no,
you
I'm
have said.
okay. I'm okay with that.
The second highest decision-making body of the party, which is the National Executive Committee, after the presentation of this report, took a decision that committees be put in place for implementation of what the party needs to do. The rest, the report as it is, must be kept out of the public, except the 8 points that was read by the chairman of that committee. You see, you are holding a report that has no signature of any one of the persons. When the report actually had columns for what? Signatures of what? Committee members. Committee members have come out to indicate that the report that is out there is fake. The general secretary...
Predictable.
How can it be? And then
This report is written by
the general secretary has said it is fake.
And understand.
The chairman have said it is fake.
I hear you.
Everybody who have handled the report have said what's out there is fake.
Okay.
Then we are justifying...
Thank you.
Not
Thank you.
unexpected.
Thank you.
Why
It's not unexpected.
Thank you. The